This world is a little bit crazy, the cartridge and stylus world. I spent the money because I was curious and there was not a lot of information, audio play tests, and showcase of what the difference would be. I got the equipment to get you as close into this. We're gonna show you the graphs. We're gonna zoom in and get as close as we can. Part of the problem is we're not reviewing different flavored $3 hot dogs. This is $100, $250, and $500. This is your music. This applies to you. It doesn't matter if you're listening to this weird Bon Iver record, the latest pop hit, a soundtrack. They look so similar. I was frustrated and I went, why is this double the price? Because here's the thing. We want to get as close as possible into the music. That's why we spend all this money on the vinyl format. But you're telling me that this double the price one is double better? Also, the reason why we're not jumping up to that $1,000 mark is because it's law of diminishing returns with a turntable that's not $1,000, as well as just a little bit of improvements that may make you, for me, it made the difference between wanting to listen to vinyl and saying, I could stream it. So all I'll say is it's not what you think, mixed with a little bit of marketing hype, mixed with just a little bit of you know it when you hear it. So I'm Mark. I'm gonna be talking to you today about vinyl, stylized, and nerdy stuff. So appreciate you stopping by. Oh man. If you like this kind of stuff, you can stick around. We'd love to talk music, but this is an important, critical component to the vinyl. I think if you have your turntable, you have a decent setup, a good pair of speakers, there's a lot of reasons you could be in the market for a new stylus cartridge. Maybe it snapped. Maybe it, it started wearing out and it sounded terrible. Another factor that a lot of people struggle to showcase is copyrighted music. I'm not about to show you copyrighted stuff. What I am about to do is show you a vinyl record that I do have the rights to show you, and that is one that I helped make. Direct permission to show this. That way I can actually show you the sonic differences in real time. Something we don't do a lot on this channel because if you play Matt Damon's gonna want his cut of the video. Matt Damon didn't help make this video. I made this video all by myself. Let's say you're looking through a lot of different, you're looking at the cartridge, right? That's the component right there that black thing touches the gold. So the gold part right in there, Google says is gonna last for decades. It's also really, really annoying to showcase because there are little screws on top. You gotta align and adjust. It is an absolute pain. You have to get a protractor tool out. This is the least fun part of vinyl right here. Lining this up, trying to zoom in with your phone to align this guy, and then you're screwing it in with like the tiniest screwdriver. Isn't it cute? You can also buy, this is what's cool about some of the Audio-Technica ones. This applies to many other brands. Whoopsie. Be very careful when doing this. You can unscrew this, usually when it's powered off, okay? Then this whole head shell comes off. And there's the screws that I was talking about. Those are really hard to align. Once you get it, it's locked in, it's really annoying. I'm just telling you. It took me like an hour or two the first time I did it. The second time I did it, it took another hour or two just to align this head shell. But these actually pop off. So here's where we're gonna start today. We're gonna gently pull this down. And this, I had this one before for a little bit and wanted to buy this one just to keep this one going because this one actually sounds great for the money and is a big jump, as hopefully you'll hear, from the orange one. But also the orange one was impressive in its own way. Now you can really see the colors and the tips. These are what you're gonna be looking at. If you look at a stylus, one thing you wanna look at is straightness. You wanna make sure that needle is not bent in any way whatsoever. There's plenty of pictures of bent ones. If yours is bent, there's no way to bend it back. You buy a new one. And if that's your scenario, these are the three that I narrowed down. And I really wanted to know the difference. I bought one in a bundle deal with a cartridge and it was cool, but I do not need the cartridge. I hope to pass it along to someone else who does. Maybe they're upgrading their whole head shell cartridge combo and they need a new cartridge and stylus, and that's how I'm gonna sell it. Now that we're aligned, because this is the locking lever. So the way I'm thinking this through is I want this lever up because I want this to be locked in by this hand. I want this to be solid and secure so that this hand is solid and secure as well as I'm putting it in. Then I'm going to grab my first thing. I'm going to be careful not to bend it. I'm going to make sure this guard is down as I grab it with two hands. A lot of people like to slide it in through there. You want to slide it into it so that it finds it right there. Then going in, and I'm using my thumb in the back, and I just felt it pop in. Didn't have like a hard snap, it's just a light snap. Then this is still down, this is down, the lever's up, but you do want to lift this guard up. Now we're engaged and ready. So when we lift this lever now, we're up, and then we have this for leverage, and then we can play vinyl. That's why I love those Audio-Technicas. They're so easy to get started. So I do have this vinyl disc. This is Speak with the Ghosts That Haunt You. An EP by a now defunct band, Adaptive Unconscious, headed by an amazing friend of mine. Some of his stuff's still on SoundCloud and YouTube. He's allowed me to put it on YouTube. One thing I know about this pressing is it's notoriously noisy, and that is one thing we're just gonna have to deal with, but that is a part of the vinyl experience, and it'll actually showcase what different styluses do when you can clearly hear that noise. I'll be recording on my PC so that you can see some of these waveforms in just a little bit. Oh, did we clean it? If we didn't, let's go ahead and do that. Just to make dang sure. There it goes. Beer. Now that we're gonna swap out this guy, we'll talk a little bit about the other things you need to look at. Is we're gonna turn this off. Turn off your preamp while you do it. Remember to close it. Another thing is these nicer styli, the ones with the finer tips and such, these guys right here may take longer to break in. The break-in period, 15 to 20 hours of normal play at 2 grams or whatever your recommended amount is. Usually it's 2 grams according to Audio-Technica stuff. But I love these because you can just pop them right in and they still sound good right out the box. But I will say, black one broke in, it just sounded fine. There was nothing that stood out. I kind of liked it not broken in though. It sounded awesome just in general. The brown one, I will say, because I have put some time onto this one, sounded better broken in than at first. But it still was a big jump, a quantum leap almost from the stock stylus that came with this turntable. And I'm glad I bumped it up after the old guy bent. And I will say the sibilance was so bad. Oh, it was like unlistenable sibilance. So this guy is the first one, this orange one, where I finally felt like, okay, maybe sibilance can disappear in vinyl records and we'll be okay. And this will be this is the first one where sibilance didn't affect me. And I went, okay, vinyl sounds good. And I think it's a very acceptable upgrade. And I would say almost a minimum in compared to some of these other styluses. I mean, you can go the Ordofon route, you can do all that. I love these because the upgrade path, eventually you may want to get a big guy. So there's the orange one, that baseline level. We're gonna try the brown one now. And this one, do not underestimate this brown and gold right here. This might be your Goldilocks. As far as price, this is the biggest price jump we've had yet for a huge sound improvement, I thought. And again, you're gonna hear it. This isn't the most mixed and mastered by Kevin Gray at wherever he is, Sterling Sound or whatever. But as you put this brown one on, and we're gonna be very careful, we have this bottom, the thumb, go up and out. Do love this brown one. listened to so much vinyl on this brown one that moved me. We're just gonna do the recommended brushing and flossing. No, we're not gonna floss. Between plays, these first two songs. The VMNS 50 S8, who cares? Brown. Cool. Phase 2 is complete. Sounds great. Listening to it again on vinyl, it brings out all these new different things and that critical listening, sitting down with something you love, getting close in proximity to the music. And now we are going to lock this one in and maybe share a little bit more detail if you're really curious about what difference do each of these make when you're going up from 250 roughly to 500-ish, I think is about what I paid. So when I was in this phase after listening to this brown one and thought, man, could I get anything more out of the music? I knew. I started getting really nice speakers. I started able to hear a lot of the nuance, and that's a big thing I would do first. The biggest thing you could do is speakers. I hope that your speaker setup as you're listening to this is solid, or your headphones, so that you can appreciate it. I love listening to vinyl on headphones. And then setting these two down together, little buddies. And as we're putting this black one on, well, the first thing that I loved about it, obviously, is the fact that it is black and gold, just like my blacked out turntable. I have talked about it in the past. I customized this. This was like a walnut, fake walnut color, and I wanted it to be black. I just wanted it to be blacked out. So I blacked out with India ink. Yeah, it's scratching off. It's not a great solution. It is not finished. Sometimes it'll turn your fingers black when you touch it. But yeah, Audio-Technica sells the one stylus. This is the maximum upgrade you can get. It's the black stylus. It's the VMN SLC, blah, blah, blah. It's the special line cartridge stylus combo. Doesn't look much different. It's very unassuming other than the color. But craftsmanship that goes into the tip of this is what makes it worth it. So we're going to go in here. We're going to put this on. What was I expecting to hear? I was expecting to hear the upgrade that I heard. And I did have to A/B it to hear the difference at first, because the brown one is super good. I'm not going to badmouth the brown one at all. That is such a solid upgrade. And I'm holding it, and I select this. We're also gonna brush it and floss one time. Brush and floss the record. And as we're going into this final needle drop here, I just want you to know, even after I bought this amazing $500 stylus, the gear part of me is always wanting another level. And then I'm going, well, then what do I do now? I upgrade the turntable, right? Is my preamp good enough? Are my speakers good enough? Yeah, my speakers are awesome. But even that part of me that knows you could drop thousands for all this stuff, 500 for one piece of equipment, there's always something else. And what I want you to do is, when you commit and you hear that difference and you know that's what you want to go for, I want you to sit back and enjoy it. And this right here, as this spins, this is a moment in time we're spending together with the music. And, you know, we spent a lot of time, me and him, making this music, you know, the time of waiting, sending files back and forth on Dropbox. And when we finally finished the pieces, it was so rewarding to be able to order this vinyl, to now look back at it and just enjoy what it meant. Think about your family, think about your friends, think about your ancestors and the land that you live on, and doing what you love and being a part of the communities that matter the most to you. And that's what this is about. And if this musical experience brings you closer to that, then we have done our job as creatives. And we hope that it's just fun. I also feel weird. Sorry that my face is not in it. I just haven't been able to zoom out. And I love to bring you closer to the music now as we embark on this adaptive unconscious journey together. Whoop, pulling focus. Let's enjoy it's a very, I hope that the thoughtfulness and everything that goes into all of this, what I do, and if it's just the purple lighting against the wall, that you enjoy this experience together. Only time this will be spun this exact way. There it is. And as we slowly, gently put this back and close this, I will take a break and we'll come back and look at what we've actually recorded today. So what I'm actually interested in hearing, is you will too, I want to listen to this track, Thate. Is that how you pronounce it?
Thate.
I have the email file where he told me actually how to pronounce it because I did not know how to pronounce it. Song about finding your place in the world and ancestors, and let's find our place in the vinyl world. All right, we're gonna start with that orange, and we're just gonna listen to it straight through together. We're gonna give you the most accurate dubs. I'll edit if I need to jump around and compare, but this is, let's experience this. I realized as I was talking about it, I didn't pan this one left and right, so we're gonna listen to this back now. Three things. You're gonna hear the noise floor of the vinyl. You're gonna hear a decent bit of dynamics. There's not a lot of dynamics in this vinyl. That's another thing you notice. And you'll hear volume differences. This is purely just out of the system, accurately panned left and right.
If I were the wind, there'd be no place for us to stay, for
Super subtle. I hope those differences became clear. As it was for me, about midway through, I immediately recognized the dynamics that I liked in the brown. And now we're going to compare the brown and the black against each other, A, B. Starting with the brown.
If I were the wind, there'd be no place for us to stay, for I would spread my wings and envelop the land that we once knew. Falling leaves, they call their names into our skin. They're our ancestors who've been taking care. Somehow I still feel lost. Am I alone in this, or have I forgotten? Somehow I still am sure that we got this far without tripping over corpses. Pagan's blood running deep throughout my valley, meditate for all who dare to cross the golden saga. When the East had won, somehow I still feel lost. Am I alone in this, or have I forgotten? Somehow I still am sure that we got this far without tripping over
I had many thoughts on the differences between the brown and the black on revealing setup, but I hope maybe that just saved you $200 to see that we are splitting hairs if you're not hearing that difference in your setup. Maybe put your money elsewhere. In my room, the black just sounds better and the dynamics really move me, and that's why I looked forward to listening to the black more than the brown and more than the orange. Yeah, that's why we test it. If you want to A/B it without the YouTube compression, I will include the actual files of this. My first things that I'm noticing as I'm looking at this chart, I mean, nothing really standing out, not that loud, minus 13.9, 13.4. It sounds okay. It honestly does. And I vibed out. I think As far as a vinyl listening experience, I think it'll get you out of the sibilants. That's kind of my thought. It's not very harsh, very plain sounding in the room. So let's see what that little bump does to us as we jump up to the brown. Already hearing more noise floor. It is louder. Is it weird to say that I like the sound of the orange one more for this particular song, even though it sounds thinner? There's a nice openness to it, but you're definitely getting more bass, and I think dynamics and the vocals are more present in the brown. That's my takeaway. I'm curious what you think. Now we're gonna A/B the expensive one and the cheap one. I'm just curious what that does. It is so much more accurate representation of the pressing itself, and it's not artificially raising those highs, which is what I liked about this orange cartridge on this particular track. If you're hearing that mid-range frequency openness, that thinness is, again, inherent to a pressing that has almost no treble and mid-range in it. So if you're partial to that, I just wanted to tell you that I think that is the reason. It's the pressing. And I've listened to this on pressings that sound perfectly mixed and mastered, and the black just sounds alive, and it doesn't sound so harsh. And that's what's happening right now. And there's a clarity that you think you're hearing in the orange, but you're not. This is interesting. There's something happening to the low in some of the mid-range dynamics, the things that jump out at you that make it engaging and like grab your attention. The orange, it just sounds back, and then it artificially lifts that treble. That's what's happening, and I finally heard it that time. Old pressings, things that don't have a lot of treble, will sound great on a stylus like that orange one. But if you want some clarity, depth, and dynamics, and bass to actually appear, that special stylus definitely jumps out. That's interesting hearing those side by side. Now I want to hear the brown against the black. Here we go. Oh, right away, there's more sub bass in the more expensive stylus. There's just more underneath it, just slightly. And again, this is a very dull sounding pressing. But now I want to listen to the vocals, because the bass, obviously, there's a clear winner. I don't want to play the drinking game where it's take a shot every time I say the word dynamics. That is what you are paying for. That is just what you are paying for. You're getting more information. All those little nuances, the little bit of more depth in the vocal and the clarity, that he feels like he's standing there singing. The guitar, hearing more of it. And it's just that subtle bit, because when I go back to the brown, I'm hearing things that I like, and there's a lot of tone and good depth in it, and there's a good bit of clarity in it too. You notice there's less pressing noise in the black. The background noise sounds louder. It's like the information that it's picking up too is clearer, and it's picking up less of that noise, and it's also a different, more pleasant sounding one. That's just what I'm hearing. It's wild to listen to it side by side, where there's all this stuff going on. It's amazing how close they are, right? If to the untrained ear, if you're not actively listening for certain things and honing in on certain instruments, that's the secret. If you're not doing that, it's going to sound very similar to your ear, and you may go, wow, I just saved $200. There you go. If you're not hearing it. I'm telling you though, on these speakers, every single time I A/B it, I do hear more, I'm not gonna say the word, dynamics, in that black cartridge, that black stylus, same cartridge. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. I hope that guided tour through the sounds helped you pick out the things and recognize what you're hearing, and not just listen to what other people say. Hopefully you heard it for yourself. There's a lot going on in vinyl. There's a lot of nuances. Every little thing that counts. Every little thing. But What I've done today is isolated this one variable that we could control. We tried as close as possible to replicate what we're hearing in the just specific difference of just styluses. Audio-Technica is doing good work, and I think general takeaways, that orange for most simple stuff, if you're only listening to stuff that's not critical listening in the background and you need something thin, that sounds great. Even against that really expensive stylus, I was really impressed with that. How much you can get away with for very low cost, 100, 140 bucks. That next step up does get you more against that orange. You are getting some more clarity, and I loved the sound of that for a long time. But when I saved a couple hundred more, all of the sudden I got the clarity that I wanted out of the black and the dynamics, and it was noticeable to my ear. There's definitely a difference in the bass that I like that's more pleasant. The mid-range is more pleasant, and there's a clearer, more dynamic treble. So in every frequency part of the spectrum sounded better to me for that price though. And then you have to go back to, well, default settings turntable. Does it sound good? Are you hating that sibilance? Are you wanting something better? Those are my thoughts, and there it is. I hope you enjoyed this whole journey of it. That's all we're gonna do today. I hope that clarifies some stuff. Really hope you enjoyed this video. It's just fun to make this type of stuff and really be useful to there's so much noise in this community, and it's hard to cut through it and do something useful. And I really hope you enjoyed the journey of discovering, hey, wow, that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds mid. I'm glad I was able to show you with actual music that I am able to actually show you that's actually on vinyl. And this whole vinyl world, I hope you had fun diving into the analog world. But there's some other stuff I wanted to talk about. This one I wanted to talk about a year ago, the Wilco Yankee Hotel, no, not Yankee Hotel, I almost said Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. The Sky Blue Sky on the Sky Blue Sky vinyl. This was literally a year ago. I just wanted to compare it. There's stuff like that. I want to just talk about the different pressings. We do stuff like that. Sometimes I'll buy every single pressing of something and compare it. I have a whole box here dedicated to my favorite albums of each year of my life. I'm turning 30 this year. Big milestone. So the music that means the most to you, I hope you're getting more and more out of the grooves. As of recording this, I have no affiliation with any of this stuff. It's the love of it that keeps me going. It's the community, you guys, and I appreciate you stopping by. So keep on grooving your way. Keep on grooving your way. See you back there. Have a good one.